All right, it's 4 o'clock. I'd like to call to order a meeting of the Hanson Board of Health. We'll roll call the members. Arlene,
Here.
Kevin,
I am here, sir.
and I am Dennis O'Connell, and I am present also. First order of business, if everyone read the minutes of the March 9th, I need a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the March 9th meeting.
I'll second that motion. This is Kevin.
And we'll go to roll call. Arlene?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also. Next up is our next meeting date. If Teresa has any suggestions.
Well, since it's the last Tuesday in April right now, you want to go 2 weeks, do May 11th? Or you want to go further? What do you guys want to do?
I'm easy. How about the other members?
The 11th is fine with me. That's when we probably would have happened, the second Tuesday, because it's after town meeting. So but I think keeping that date is fine.
Yeah.
You good with that, Kevin?
Yeah, that works for me. The 11th is fine.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Teresa. Next up, we have Jeff Morse looking for an installer's permit. Jeff, you're with us, right?
Yes.
How are you?
Good. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
It's all right.
All right.
I believe, is everyone familiar with Jeff's situation? And
I'm not Dennis. This is Kevin. I've never spoke to Jeff or even know who he is. If he wants to just kind of give us a quick rundown on the situation, I know nothing about it.
All right. I'm a septic installer. I have licenses in Situate, Cohasset, Marshfield, Duxbury, Hanover, Norwell. I've been in business 45 years. I've done work before in Hanson, but not recently. I did a system on Adams Circle, and I did another job on State Street, but it was more than 5 years ago. And so, I've got a D-box to install at a guy's house. It's got a busted D-box, and I'm just trying to get a license so I can put this D-box in.
So,
are you licensed? I have a quick question.
Yes.
Just are your licenses current in all the towns that you mentioned?
Yes.
And copies were sent.
And copies were sent. I think there's 4 licenses that I sent in, and others are pending. They're in the mail, but if you call up, when you're a septic installer, these licenses run out every December. And so, they're all renewed the first week in January. And most guys do not renew until they have a job in that particular town. And I'm like that. And so I've got the 4 licenses in the 4 towns and others pending. And so that's my situation.
Hey, Jeff, this is Kevin Perkins, one of the members. So just a quick question. So what exactly are you looking for from us? You're looking for us to give you a license and waive the fee?
Yeah, no, not waive the fee. The secretary said that I had to take a test. And,
okay.
If I have to take a test, I have to take a test. But it just seems that for someone who's been in business for this long and has the experience that I have, I would just be able to get a license without a problem.
Well, with what you just said, kind of leads me to say, if you've been in business that long and been doing it that long, you probably could have just went and taken the test and been done with it by now, as opposed to being here having this conversation. That's just what I get out of it. I understand you said you've been doing this a long time, and if that's the case, you should just breeze right through the test and it shouldn't be an issue. So I don't understand what the reason is you're asking for, a waiver more or less from taking the test.
I'm not. I mean, it just seems that would be the right thing to do. But if you want me to take the test, I'll take the test.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing personal, Jeff. It's just we have to set a certain standard, and we've actually gotten away from the requirements on the test, not to allow people that may, say a new installer that just went out on their own and started working for themselves, and they have no licenses in other towns, to kind of, work with people like that are looking to sit for the test. But as far as I know, we haven't just waived the test altogether just because you're qualified. It sounds like you've definitely qualified, but I think that it would just make more sense for you to just take the test than it would be to be here having this conversation,
Can you tell me what kind of test it is?
It's based off a plan.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I have essential tremor, and so it's very hard for me to print or write. And so, but I can tell you anything on the plan that you want to know. I am very confident in that. So can I come up tomorrow and take the test?
You'd have to call the office.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that, given your experience, Jeff, I can't see you having a problem with the test. It's just we have to have a certain standard that there's really, whether you've done 1,000 septic systems or you've done 5. I mean, we just have to have a standard that if you want an install license, you have to at minimum take and pass the test and pay the fee. As far as qualifications go, to sit to take the test, we can, have a little lateral movement on that. But I think, everyone's going to take the test and pass the test. And it sounds like you're more than qualified, so you shouldn't have an issue.
Okay, fine. I'll call up tomorrow morning.
Request to have a
Jeff, I don't know if you heard Teresa, but she said that the test is multiple choice, so there's no writing involved.
Okay.
Okay. And like Kevin reiterated, if we skirt the test for you, would get more applicants probably asking the same thing. So right. we have to maintain the standard.
You're right. We need to exactly as Dennis said. We just need to hold a certain standard, and across the board that has to apply to everyone. And I think everyone needs to sit and take the test. I just see no, real why the request to waive the test is really warranted in this situation.
Well, like I said, I'm not trying to get out of taking the test, but in all the experiences I have had, I have never had to take, I had to take one down in Hyannis, but any town around here, I have just not had to take one because they realize that I've had the experience and I know what I'm doing. But if that's what you want, that's what I'll do. I'm not trying to be difficult at all.
From the sounds of it, it sounds like you have the experience, so the test should not be an issue for you. I'm sure you just be in and out, and that's it. But we have to, there's really, I haven't heard any reason as to why we should waive it for you. So that means we'd have to waive it for anyone else that requests it that has no real reason as to why we have to,
Okay, that's fine. I'm glad to take it.
Okay.
Awesome.
I am just trying to get in and out so I can get this guy's D-box installed. So hopefully if I call up tomorrow, will I be able to take it, do you think?
You'll have to schedule that with the office and when they have an opening to do that. This is just the board. We don't handle scheduling and stuff. But definitely give a call in the morning and see what they can do for you as far as getting in to take the test. This is something that, you should have had your license lined up kind of ahead of time before doing the job. I know that, you probably just got hired, but I'm sure they'll work with you to get it, moving along as fast as they can.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. Next up, we're looking at a well permit for 144 Indian Head Street.
The homeowner may be on the line. Keith, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep, I'm here. So I'm not sure if I have to present anything or show anything, but I'm basically just looking to install a shallow irrigation well. I'm not sure if everybody could hear me on that or not.
I
Yeah.
heard.
I'm just pulling the plans right now.
Oh, okay, no problem.
So have you done any like recent survey or anything of the property? This is just an old plan from 66. Is that what you got here? Is that the most recent?
Yep, that's the most recent that that I was able to find on file. I do own the properties behind me. There's a cranberry bog behind me. I'm the grower owner of the cranberry bog, and then there's a smaller raised ranch. Sorry, not a raised ranch, just a ranch on the right side of me. If you're standing at the street looking at my house, I own that house too. And then there's a newer house to the left of me. Built by Don Ellis. I believe he's moving in over there. He's got a new plan on his property, but I don't have one on mine.
Okay. After this well is installed, would you be okay with, doing just a quick survey plan for a surveyor just to, stamp a plan showing that this well is meeting the setbacks from, the lot lines and from the leaching area and everything like that?
Yeah, I don't know what a plan would cost. Obviously, I'm trying to, do things as reasonable as possible. But if you could tell me who to reach out to, and I don't think that would be an issue.
We can't really tell you who to hire.
Okay.
I would say, just from my experience, probably the most cost-effective way to approach it is someone that's done surveys on abutting properties.
Okay.
Typically they'll have control points around those areas that they could, give you more of a competitive price usually.
Okay.
But, you could call a couple local guys. It's like with the last conversation we're having with the last gentleman looking for a license. We just need to have a certain standard, and we need to just really verify, where you want to put your proposed well meets the requirements. But just in the event that it gets shifted, you hit ledge, rock. I know you're not going to, it's all sand there, but just, we have to meet a certain standard, and just hold everyone to it. So really what we need to do is just show where the actual physical well is installed and survey that once it's in. Would you be all right with that? Other than that, I don't see any issues that you have.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Okay. Maybe where you own so much of the property, it might be good for you to have an updated survey plan anyway,
Right.
where you own some of the abutting properties, just to really know where your real lot lines are and everything,
Sure. So and I don't know if you have it off the top of your head. I do not have it in front of me. I believe it was part of the application, just so I can write it down. So off of an abutting property, off the lot line, is it 20 feet or 25 feet, if I remember correctly?
It should be 25 feet, I believe, off a lot line, and then it should be 100 feet from a leaching. This is for a drinking well, but I would probably try to meet those if you can, just because you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot either. If say you had to replace your septic system or something, now you say you had to replace it, move it over closer to your well, you don't really want to shorthand yourself later. So right. You might want to talk, maybe whoever's going to survey it, if you hire maybe an engineer rather than just a land surveyor, and then you can kind of run it by them and say, hey, does it make sense to put this here in the event I had to do something down the road? Because you don't want to have to decommission it and then put another well in either, No, so you kind of plan it for the future. That would just be my input on it.
Okay. Is now looking at the guidelines on the application for the irrigation well, I know you just said 100 feet, and I think it says for irrigation up, you can do 50. As long as it's 50 feet.
Yep.
Just because 100 feet really puts me almost at my rental house, which
Yeah. No, 50 feet for an irrigation well is fine.
Okay.
But 25 feet off a property line. Yep.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that's no problem. I can reach out to a couple companies to see if I can get somebody. So I would need that done before it's installed or after it's installed?
I don't know how the other board members feel, but I would just need it, my opinion would be just after it's installed, more or less, for someone to certify saying this is the physical well location, it's installed, and it meets the setbacks.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't see a problem with you moving forward with the installation, and then it would just, final sign off on it would just be to submit an updated plan showing the physical well. I don't know how everyone else feels about that.
No, yeah, I want a certified plan so we can put it on file.
Right. So we know where it is.
Yeah.
Because there's other times too. I know you own the abutting properties, but sometimes, engineers, when they're doing repairs on other houses, they're responsible for locating all the wells, within a certain distance. So it's good. It helps them too, because they're responsible and they have to locate those too. So it's good to have that information on file, both for the Board of Health and then really just for abutters and anyone down the road, just so we know where all of them are in town.
Okay.
I know it may seem a little overkill for an irrigation well. I get it. But it's really just like we said, to just kind of have a set standard, and that's what we are holding to,
No, that's okay. I guess my question would be, if I'm looking to move forward with the install sooner than later. We did just put down seed and stuff, so our property is pretty bare, and I'm trying to get anything I possibly can to grow. My question would be, do you guys meet? Is it once a month, or is it more often? Like when would the next meeting be to get it approved? To actually stamped off, showing the plan and all that stuff.
Well, we meet on the 11th of next month, but I mean, you just need to get it certified and submit it after. There's not really any time, any time limit to get the plan in. We'd like to get it at some point, just to put it in the file, Keith.
Yeah, that's no problem at all. Okay, I will definitely work on that and get that put together.
Yeah, it would be like you said, you can go forward and install it. As far as I'm concerned, it just we'd like you to have someone certify saying this is the physical location, on a plan that's stamped and submit it to us, just so we can put it in the file.
No problem.
So Dennis,
with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the well permit.
I'll make a motion to approve the well permit.
Did you have something else you wanted to say, Eileen? I'm sorry.
No. I just wanted it to be clear to him that we weren't telling him that he couldn't move ahead with it. That was all, and that's all set. No.
He's getting his permit, and he's got the go ahead.
Yes. So I am making the motion to approve the permit at 144 Indian Head Street.
And a second.
I'll second that. This is Kevin.
And we'll go to roll call. Eileen.
Yes.
Kevin.
Yes.
Yes, also. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Next up, did everyone get a chance to read the town councilor's response to the open meeting violation?
Yes.
I did also, Dennis. I don't have any edits or objections to it. I'll make a motion to, I guess, adopt or accept the response from town council.
Very good. Do I hear a second?
Dennis, I think you need a second.
Okay. I'll make a second on that motion. And we'll go to roll call. Eileen?
I'll abstain.
Kevin?
I'm a yes.
And I'm a yes also. Next up, we need a motion to reconfirm the animal inspector, Shirley Savage Kavici.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Shirley Savage Kavicki to animal inspector.
I will second the nomination.
And we'll go to roll call. Eileen?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also. Next up, we have the waste zero cost increase. Did everyone get a chance to look at the attachments that Teresa sent out?
I looked at them, but there was things I couldn't figure out. Money was going here, there, and so I didn't understand the flow. I don't know if Teresa can help with that.
Well, so the way the when pay-as-you-throw went into effect in 2014, the town manager at the time, or town administrator at the time, rather, didn't want the money. They wanted the money to go through Waste Zero, and then Waste Zero would deposit it into our account. Yep. So it goes from the people that are purchasing the bags, being, you know, like Shaw's or Stop and Shop or whomever.
Right.
And they send their money, and Waste Zero deposits into an account for us once a month.
Okay.
I think it's generally, hold on one second, let me look at a report. It's generally like the third page in, and it says what the deposit amounts were. I'm sorry, the fourth page in. It says what the deposit amounts are into the account.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make it clearer for you? Or is there something else?
Yeah, it's just, no, that, I sort of knew it was going from one way to another.
Yeah, they
so
wire transfer it into our account once a month.
Once a month, okay.
Yep. And that goes into the enterprise account.
Okay.
Yep. And they do the billing to the different stores that handle the bags.
Waste Zero still does that?
Yes.
Okay. My question would be, if we implement an increase in the price, how long does that process take? If we're considering.
I would suggest you do it for the beginning of the fiscal year, so for July 1st. Just to make it clean cut.
Yep.
And then I can contact them and find out how to go about it. Because they have contact, I believe, with all of the vendors.
Yep.
Are we agreed upon the dollar increase?
The dollar yeah, is it going to get us where we want to go? Is it going to cover the cost, I guess, is the question.
It should, yes.
I'm trying to look at these numbers.
It should cover the increase and give us a little revenue.
And have we noticed a decrease or an increase in the sales? Or no? Right now, I only have January and February. Teresa, is February the last statement we got?
I can't say really. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's nothing I ever really paid attention to.
Okay. Well, we definitely have to. We're going to incur the cost, so.
Yeah.
And we'll probably try to keep it as low as we possibly can. So I don't.
So it'll be if you do $1, it would be $11 a roll.
Yes.
And it's the first increase, so I mean.
Yeah, since 2014.
Right.
That's probably the only thing that hasn't been increased in cost in the last 2 years that I know of.
That's what I'm saying.
Probably.
It is what it is. We've got to do.
Yep, and I think that's a modest increase. That's not a significant amount. So I don't have a problem with $1.
I'll entertain a motion.
I will make a motion. Go ahead. Did you want to do it, Kevin?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I will make a motion that we increase the cost of the bags to $1 on each bag. Waste Zero.
Each roll.
Each roll, sorry. Oh,
Right.
God, we've been making a lot of money.
Cost will now be $11 a roll.
It will be $11 per roll. As of July 1st, 2021, right?
Yes.
Sounds like my train.
Holy. Do I hear a second?
I will second that, Dennis.
And we'll go to roll call. Wow. Arlene,
Yeah. Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
and I'm a yes also. Next up is the plan review report form from Gil.
So this is a plan review report form from the planning department, and what it says is it's for the Board of Health approving the subdivision plan. If there's any particular problems or where the subdivision is sitting, the Board of Health should report it to the planning board. We've never ever done this. No one's ever done this. It's something new. It's an old law. It's
Did Kevin and
kind of
Arlene,
long.
did
Just
you
saying
see
where
the form letter that they sent out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I sent this out like 2 weeks ago or something with the law.
Yeah.
I mean, they said it doesn't hold the Board of Health responsible for anything because the subdivision still has to do correct cash and designs and all that. This is just saying, what Wes explained to me, that the Board of Health has no problem with the subdivision as far as what it sees at this particular time.
Mm-hmm.
Did we receive a plan for the subdivision?
Yes. It seems, I looked this up, and it seems like it's the only people that do this form is the Board of Health.
I haven't seen the plan, so I downloaded everything.
You wouldn't have the whole plan.
Form.
Probably 10,
What is it?
10 pages.
And you sent that to us?
No.
Oh. All right.
Just this form, and the requirement of this form, it's pretty much a simple form. It's just like a boilerplate form or something that, the planning board decided they want the Board of Health to do this.
But how do we sign off on it if we've not seen the plan?
That's a very good question for the planning board.
Well, it's got is if you see the bottom of the line, name of officer, agency, or board. So, we got a call from the planning board the other day that, it's for me to sign off on.
Gil, you don't have a copy of the plan in the office? No?
I do have a copy of the plan.
Okay.
It seems like it's a formality, under the general law.
Yeah.
It may be, but I would still like to see the plan before we vote to sign off on it.
Oh, it's not actually a vote. I've just bring this before the board because I've never seen it before the whole entire town, by the time I've been in town. And I talked to conservation. It's this obscure law, as far as I see. It's just the Board of Health that signs it, says it has no problem with the citing of the plan. I believe I sent the law out when I sent the form out, too.
So who signs this?
On the bottom, if you look at the form, it says name of officer, agency, or board. So the planning board is looking for my signature on the plan, on this form.
Right.
I'm a little confused, Gil. It's Kevin. What exactly are they looking for? They're looking for like comments and feedback on the plan. I mean, that's something you could give them in a letter or something. But I mean, even so, you're not a review engineer. We're not review engineers. It's a subdivision. It's they're going to have a septic plan for each individual lot. They're going to have stormwater, probably through conservation, because I know there's wetlands all over that site. I'm not really sure as to why they're pushing this on to you,
Well, if you read a copy of the law, I mean, it's like a formality that the planning board is supposed to go through. And I believe they look for plans like something, just on the site dangerous or something like that, or brownfield or something like that. I think that's what they're looking for. At least that's what the way the chairman explained to me the other day when he called me. So
Yeah,
this is all natural.
How would we know if we've never seen the plans?
So they're asking for me to look at it. The reason why I bringing this to the board is the fact this has never been done. I've been here my whole life. I've never seen this form, but it's an old law apparently.
So let's maybe take this approach, Gil. Is there anything in a file on that property that you have in the office?
No.
Okay, so maybe we answer this and respond to it as there is nothing, in any folder or file within the Board of Health referencing that property other than the proposed plan. And at that point, I mean, they can send it out to review. But I mean, to have you really digest this plan that has nothing to do with us until they submit, septic design applications, I mean, is just kind of asinine if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way I look at it too. Just hey, it's okay, because other things have to come in after this. The citing of the plan is no problem. It's natural land, but
Yeah, I mean, even if it's just a formality, I'm not comfortable just throwing the board with nothing. We have to see, explain this to us a little better.
I'm with you, Dennis. I'm not looking to just rubber stamp.
I'm not comfortable with a blank form and saying, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what you look at the plan. I mean, I talked to Frank's the conservation agent, and he kind of said the same thing. Just give him a general answer to it. That it's a subdivision plan. It's natural land, and that's it.
Yeah.
Bottom of this plan. Excuse me. I'm sorry. The bottom of the form says the planning board will take into consideration any recommendations, and if we don't have a plan, we can't make any recommendations.
Right. So maybe we should respond to this. Just with a response that we have no information on this, and the board members have not received a plan.
I mean, are these plans something Mr. Donovan should look at? Is it, which direction are we going here?
It's strictly a subdivision plan.
Yeah.
Nothing else but a subdivision plan.
Which the planning board has jurisdiction over, and our jurisdiction, as far as I'm concerned, is just public health and the septic systems. Stormwater will be handled by conservation and their review engineer. So I'm not really sure as to what they're looking for us to comment on. I mean, it's got we have no reason to comment on zoning, anything like that. Road layout, anything. None of it's our jurisdiction or our responsibility. So, I mean. To me, them asking us for feedback is kind of irrelevant. It's just, any septic design we're going to send out to review, and that's it. And stormwater will be reviewed by conservation. So I don't see anything that we could comment on other than, like you said, if it was some sort of previously, contaminated site or something like that maybe we had documentation on in the office. But other than past history of this property, I think we really have no comment.
Okay, well, I'll speak to him again about this. That the board would like more information. Why they asked him, the board, to review this, because it's never been used before. I've never seen this form the whole time I've been here. So I think it's just some obscure law that somebody dug up. Oh, they have to do this. So the way I feel about it. So
I don't know. It looks like something that they just made up. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody read the law and they came up with this form letter.
That form, yeah. Kind of sketchy. All right. Get back.
Maybe we respond with kind of what we discussed and exactly what areas are they looking for us to comment on. As far as what, it's just comments and recommendations. I mean, it's just pretty, like Dennis said, it's just a blanket. They're looking for us to pencil whip something, in my opinion.
Just a blanket thumbs up. No, that doesn't work.
I mean, if they want to be more specific as to what they're looking for us to comment on, and they put more information and actually give us a set of plans, like Eileen said, I think then maybe we could be in a position to give them some sort of feedback on it, But until then, I don't see how we can really comment on something we don't have in front of us.
Yeah, it's very general.
Like I said, there's a set of plans in the office, but it's like, 10, 12 pages, so I don't think you want to have that scanned to you, so.
No, I mean, you could have,
Nope.
Deb Petty could do it. If it's come from the planning board, have Deb Petty. She can email that all over to us,
Okay, if you want to do that, we can do that then. That's probably simple.
At least then we'd actually have something to look at to reference. I mean, we can't, assign or make a motion or do anything with this form when we have nothing. We don't even know what it says.
And again, if they could be a little more specific on what they'd like us to comment on,
I would think it would be any concerns, but again, without plans, we can't answer those questions.
Yeah, we're in the dark.
Okay, I'll communicate to her, reach out to her and say, look, the board would like to see a set of plans, scan it to them, and what do you want as a review? Maybe a letter, going with it, what they're actually looking for us to sign this letter, this form. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay.
All right, next we'll go to the COVID update.
Well, as you know that, the numbers are all over the place. I think we just dropped back into yellow this past week here, so looks like the numbers are changing, but it's also going crazy. Everybody, most businesses are in adherence to it. A couple issues here and there, but things are going pretty good, and we'll just have to, follow what happens next week or so here. He's changed a bunch of things around, and we just follow what he says, what he does, and we make sure everybody adheres to the rules and regulations, and that's about the size of it. I think things are going pretty good. No major catastrophes or anything with it, so we're moving on.
Yeah, it's down to 48 communities in the red.
Yeah, so
bad, and they're opening up the bars and stuff. So
right.
Here we go. Here we
go.
Yeah. Good news is I got my second shot, so a couple weeks it's supposed to be kicked in, and hopefully we'll fare well.
The real estate market's still hopping. It's hopping like unbelievable. So there's a lot of, a lot of Title V upgrades and everything. So we're, pretty busy on that front. And none of that, things are fairly smooth. So we'll just keep going. Yeah. Any questions?
Any questions for Gil?
No. And we did all the second shots for everybody we had given first shots to, right?
Correct.
In Hanson.
Yes.
Okay. And we never got Johnson & Johnson. Is that correct?
No, never, no.
Okay.
I'll tell you, Marshfield, what an operation they had at the fairgrounds. It couldn't have gone smooth.
I volunteered there.
Was that? Oh, did you?
I volunteered there. I did, yeah.
Wasn't it just the smoothest operation? I mean,
yeah. When I volunteered, it was months ago, but my son went a couple days ago and got a shot. And in the morning when you go in to volunteer, they say to you, no more than 2 minutes. The car pulls in, it should not be under that tent any more than 2 minutes. And you're zipping people through. So when my son went through, he said the firefighter that gave him his vaccine said he had done 1,200.
Wow.
So they had like 7 lines, 2 tents in each line, and you could do like 2 people per car. And somebody was drawing up the syringes, somebody else was giving it, 2 people were at the desk documenting it in the computer, handing you the card, and you were out to go stand in line to wait. Very, very, very well done. And they used 5.
My appointment was at 12. I was back home in my house by 12:30.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. I mean, it couldn't have gone better.
Very, very quick.
Yep.
You don't even have time to. They hand you the paperwork, and you don't have time to fill it out, and they're trying to give you your shot.
That's right. And the woman took mine and filled it out for me.
Yep. Yeah. It is well run. Well run.
It was awesome. All right. We'll go on to the septic plans if there's no objections. And the first one up is 225 Holly Ridge Drive.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yep.
It's Terry McSweeney, the design engineer.
Hi, Terry. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Everyone
I'm looking.
Okay.
No, I had looked at it earlier, but I don't. He can explain what's going on. I don't have questions.
So this is a new technology. I think we've designed 4 or 5 of them now. We have one currently in operation in Pembroke, one in operation in Hingham, another that have been approved for installation in Hingham, and one that's been approved for installation in Norwell. It's considered an alternative soil absorption system with treatment, and because of the with treatment designation, we're allowed to do certain things like reduce groundwater separation, which is why we can go all the way down to a 2-foot groundwater separation. I'm sure everybody's familiar with the neighborhood. It's kind of nasty soil, shallow water table, but because the system itself is relatively thin, and because we can reduce the groundwater separation down to 2 feet, we're minimizing the height of the mound in the backyard. You can see there is a blue line there, which on our plans indicates a change in the topographic elevations, but it's only a 1-foot change. The rest of the properties, recently upgraded in the neighborhood to have more like 3 or 4 foot mounds in the backyard. So this is, I think, a better solution. Still, all in all, because of the nature of the soils and the shallow water table, we still have to go with a pump system just to achieve that 2-foot separation. So we're proposing a Renko pump vault. It's a 1-tank pump system with a high head, kind of a quasi well pump that goes down in there, delivers it to a distribution box, and then into this geomat leaching system. It's called a geomat leaching system. So the house is currently 3-bedroom. We are doing a 3-bedroom disposal, so there's no increase in flow. We can reduce the groundwater separation again down to 2 feet. It's based on a sieve analysis. I guess the reason that I'm here is because of the nature of the soils. We had to do a sieve analysis. We couldn't actually measure the perk rate, but the design was completed consistent with the Mass DEP sieve policy. And I think I addressed all of Jim Donovan's concerns. He had a couple, which I'm pretty sure I've addressed and given you revised plans that reflect those the revisions that were made. If you have any specific questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. It's a fairly standard Title V upgrade. What's not so standard on this is just the use of the new technology. Everything that we're proposing is consistent with the conditions specified in the Mass DEP remedial use permit. So everything we're doing is permitted, or what we're proposing to do is all permitted through the DEP. So again, if you have any specific questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you.
Hey, Terry, Kevin Perkins.
Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Good. So I'm just curious, what's the cross section, the height of this actually when it's done? I'm just curious for my own knowledge, like comparison that to like a Presby where you have 6 inches of sand, 12-inch pipe, 6 inches, so it finishes about 24-inch height.
Yeah. So this requires, so you can put the geomat system directly on native soils, but when you do that, you can't take the increased loading rates. We get for instance on this, what do we get? Hold on just a second. 0.67. So we get a 0.67. I mean, the soils were bad. We get a 0.67 loading rate. If you use 6 inches of C33 sand underneath the geomat, you can get the various reductions that are permitted. So it's 6 inches of ASTM C33 sand. The geomat itself is only an inch thick, and then you put over the top of the geomat some kind of distribution pipe. We're proposing 2-inch distribution pipe. You can also go with a 4-inch distribution pipe, but again, because we wanted to minimize the height of the mound, we went with a 2-inch, which again is all comes directly from the remedial use permit. So all in, we're at 9 inches above. For the thickness of the soil absorption system is 9 inches.
Right, from your separation elevation. No, that's pretty impressive. I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Well, like I say, we have one in operation currently in Pembroke, one that just wrapped. As a matter of fact, we just finished it today in Hingham. We have a couple more that have been approved for installation in Hingham, and one in Norwell. And there are, in addition, just as important as the increased loading rates, there's no overdig with this system. So you're minimizing the amount of R&R. According to the remedial use permit, they can be installed as little as 5 feet away from a building foundation, right? So there's no rubber, there's no variance. The standard SAS setback is 20 feet, so we can reduce this all the way down to 5 feet without any kind of variance, consistent with the remedial use application. So I'll be honest with you, they're new to us anyway, and we've just started to design them. But the more I look at them, the more I realize, we're going to be using a lot more of these. Our standard approach on the more problematic sites has been, a single air treatment system, followed most likely by pressure distribution if you're in a shallow water table situation. But you get the same design reductions, including the same groundwater separation reduction with a passive treatment system. So there's no pump, there's no ongoing maintenance contract. There's a deed notice requirement, but the deed notice is nothing more than a notice recorded in the chain of title for the property saying there is this geomat in operation at the site, but there's no maintenance contract. So now you're saving $700-800 annually to have some licensed individual come check out your system. So there are a tremendous number of advantages in using this particular system. Again, it's new to us. We hope that it performs the way it's supposed to perform, and I guess we'll know that in a few years. But again, it's all permitted by the DEP, so they're convinced that it's supposed to do what it's supposed to do. And the other nice thing about it, as opposed to some of the other systems, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of the Presby system just because you have a tube that's full of water, and I don't understand how you're going to get the kind of oxygen transfer that you're going to need to get in order to achieve the treatment that you want to see. This is the exact opposite. Instead of concentrating the wastewater, you're spreading it out. The geomat is a 1-inch thick, non-woven geotextile. Basically, what it does is it wicks the water out away from the point of distribution. So you're getting the wastewater, the effluent spread out across the surface of the soil instead of concentrating it in one area where, again, I don't understand how you're going to get the kind of atmospheric oxygen transfer into the subsurface that you would need to actually achieve treatment with some of the other systems, whereas this distributes things and spreads them out, and you can't bury them. You can bury them up to 2 feet. So a standard application, Title V, you can bury the leach field up to 3 feet. These things are limited. You can only bury a maximum 2 feet. But again, that's an effort to draw that atmospheric oxygen down into the soil absorption system to give you the kind of treatment that hopefully we're going to get. But again, not to get you off topic.
Just a quick question. Could you put it under a driveway? I'm just curious.
No, you can't put them on. No, you cannot.
Okay. No, I was just curious. I'm just, again, this is just general knowledge questions. I'm asking you nothing to do with everything with the plan looks good. I don't see any issues with it. Do we have a copy in the office of the approval from DEP, the approval letter?
They're all online at the Mass DEP website. I can certainly print a copy off for you if you'd like.
Yeah, if you could maybe just drop off a copy, or maybe just the PDF.
Just email it, Terry, and I can print.
Yeah. All right, Tracy. Yeah, I'll scan it. I have it in my record, so I'll just scan it and send it over to you. And you just want the remedial use permit?
Yeah, Kevin? Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, just so we have.
Kevin, do you want me to email it to you?
No, just for the folder. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Kevin, if you're interested, there is the design manual is online at the Mass DEP website, so you can take a look at that as well if you'd like.
Yeah, I will. I'll definitely look into it. It looks pretty impressive, just to the overall height of it down.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I say, there's a more recent upgrade on the abutting property, and the mound is probably 5 feet high. When everything's said and done, we're going to be up, maybe a little bit more than a foot on this. So hopefully it's as successful as the folks at the DEP believe it's going to be.
Okay. And upon completion, you'll have the deed notice on the property just on, that it has an IA system installed?
Correct.
Okay.
It's just a deed notice. There's no maintenance contract. It's just so the function of the deed notice is to put subsequent property owners on notice that there's something a little out of the ordinary in operation at the site. That's really all it is.
Correct.
But we will certainly make sure that gets done.
Does anyone else have any questions, Eileen or Dennis?
No.
I'm good.
All right.
I'll
Thank you.
motion if everyone's satisfied.
Yes, I'll make a motion that we accept the plans for 225 Holly Ridge Drive.
I'll second that. This is Kevin.
And we'll go to roll call. Eileen.
Yes.
Kevin.
Yes.
And I'm a yes also.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Terry, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Next up is the plans for 48 High Street. If everyone has a chance to look at them.
How you doing? This is Jason Youngquist from Outback Engineering. If you have any questions.
How are you tonight?
Not too bad. I do like the four o'clock meeting starts. That's very convenient.
Yes. I like the remote meetings.
That too.
To drag you back in, Dennis.
Oh, come on.
Hey. No time soon.
Could you just run us through real quick? What are you looking for on variance here? It looks like you're looking from 4 to 3 and a sieve.
Yes. So this is an existing 3-bedroom house with a failed Title V system, and we're looking to just upgrade that to give them a functioning septic system. And we're asking for a reduction in the separation of groundwater as well as a sieve analysis. So with the separation, the 1 foot separation of groundwater, we're going to raise the plumbing in the house. We can get a gravity system in here, so we won't have to pump. So we're going to raise the plumbing in the house and change the grade of the backyard a little bit, and we'll get that separation that we need, and also allow for a gravity system, which is nice. As you know, there's a high water table out there. It was 40 inches down. We had fill, and then we had water coming in 46 inches. So we didn't have any room to get the perk in. So we had to do a sieve analysis of the soil in lieu of the typical perk test. So we're not increasing in flow. The house is getting redone, but it's not adding bedrooms or anything like that. It's going to stay a 3-bedroom home. So no increase in flow. And we did have some comments from Mr. Donovan a while back that we addressed and on the revised plans that we submitted. Just a couple little plan changes, nothing crazy. So we did those revisions and got those plans back to you guys.
Very good. Did everyone have a chance to look at the plans and Mr. Donovan's analysis?
I did look at his analysis. Yeah.
Pretty cut and dried.
Yeah, everything looks good to me. I'm sorry, what was your name, the engineer?
Jason Youngquist, Outback Engineering.
Jason, could you just for my own knowledge, could you just comment on when is a deed restriction required in your opinion?
Deed restriction is required when you have local upgrade approval requests, because you can't increase in flow. So you have to deed restrict it to the amount of bedrooms that you have at the moment, which is 3 bedrooms in this case. So if somebody bought the house, they wouldn't be able to put an addition on and make it 4 bedrooms unless they brought that system into conformance.
Right. So basically in a request under local approval would be a require for a deed restriction, even though you're not increasing the flow. So it's a 3-bedroom existing structure and you're putting in a 3-bedroom fully sized system, but you are requesting a groundwater reduction and a sieve analysis instead of a perk. So
that requires the deed restriction, just so there's chain of title. Somebody buying it down the line, they know that, hey, I'm not going to be adding on a bedroom unless I do something with the septic system to bring it into conformance.
Right.
And that's required under 15405 of Title V.
Right. Okay. No, we've kind of been getting mixed mixed feedback on that. So I was just kind of curious just to get a unbiased opinion on it from you. No, that's good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
If everyone's satisfied, I'll entertain a motion.
Okay. I will make a motion that we accept the plan for 48 High Street.
I'll second that motion. It's Kevin.
We'll go to roll call. Arlene.
Yes.
Kevin.
Yes.
I'm a yes also. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. And enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have 57 Milford Street. Dealing with the deed restriction.
Oh, I know we did this last month, but so go ahead.
Mr. Diaz is here, right? Hello?
Dennis, what was this one back on for? Was it just?
I think he wanted to. There he goes.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, Alan Diaz representing the Murphys at 57 Milford Street. I did send the board in a letter 3 or 4 weeks ago regarding the comment that this parcel needed a deed restriction. I don't know that the members have got a chance to read the letter, but I'll go through it briefly if you want. You want me to go just highlight it?
Oh, please.
Okay. The owners of 57 Milford Street is currently a 3-bedroom dwelling. The board approved 6 or 7 variances for that particular property at your last meeting. One of those variances was a distance to groundwater and property lines. The board approved that. At the last minute, the secretary made a comment that this parcel needed a deed restriction. And in reviewing Title V and the fact that we were looking for variances under 15404, which is maximum feasible compliance, okay, we do not need to have a deed restriction on this parcel. It's a 3-bedroom. It remains to be a 3-bedroom. If there's going to be any increase in flow in the future, then I would agree that a new fully compliant Title V system would have to be installed. I sent in my letter the complete maximum feasible compliance regulations and some of my reasonings for that. And to date, no one's been able to show me that I'm incorrect. As the prior speaker just said from Outback, when you file under 15405 with a local upgrade and the use of a sieve analysis or alternative technology, you in fact need a deed restriction. In this particular scenario, unless someone on the board can show me in Title V that I'm wrong, this property doesn't need it. I have, Mr. Jim, you don't know me, but I've been in the business for 30 years. As part of my job, as part of one of my functions, I am a Board of Health member in another town, is to review and approve the plans. So I'm very familiar with plans. So what I'm asking you to do is to revote that motion from a few weeks ago and not include the deed restriction on behalf of the Murphys.
Any other members have any input on this?
Yeah, I got probably 4 different opinions on this, and it was kind of split 50-50. Some thought that it would require a deed restriction anytime you're looking for, a variance or a reduction or a waiver, and then others didn't, where there was no increase in flow, where, like he had mentioned, it's an existing 3-bedroom house and they're just replacing a 3-bedroom system. And what I know too is, so if it was, say, a 2-bedroom house, you can do a 2-bedroom leaching area, and there's a notation that requires you to have, you need to have 330 gallon per day. That's the minimum size you can have. You're allowed to have 220 gallon per day with a deed restriction. So had this been a 2-bedroom, I would think that it would definitely require a deed restriction. But where it's a 3-bedroom and it's getting a 3-bedroom system, I'm not sure. It's really just the variances and waivers that whether they triggered or not. But like you said, there is no increase in design flow. Had he been looking for a 4-bedroom system, then now we have a problem. And I would think you'd need a reserve area as well to do an increase. I don't know. I mean, that's a completely different topic, but I'm really not sure. I mean, it's not, they're looking for variances to put the correct size leaching field in, and it's not an increase. I'm really not sure. Like I said, I got 4 different opinions, and it was like split 50-50 kind of on what the thought on it was. So I guess it really comes down to what we think.
What is your judgment telling you, Kevin?
Well, let me ask the representative. So in the event, in your opinion, so in the event that you wanted to do an increase in flow here, what would need to happen?
You'd have to have a fully compliant Title V system. So in this particular scenario, because of the size and shape of the lot being 4,700 square feet, you could not put a fully compliant system in it. So this property would never have a 4-bedroom septic system.
Right.
It's just not enough room.
Right. It's just not going to happen. You'd basically have to meet Title V with no reductions, no waivers, be fully compliant. It wouldn't even go in front of the board. And in that event, you could do an increase in flow. So I understand that correct? Yeah.
Correct. What the board kind of needs to look at, I know Title V can be very confusing, is that when an applicant and this engineer submitted the plan under the maximum feasible compliance, that's what we were looking for, relief under that particular section. And when you get relief under that section, there are certain things that you need to do and things that you can't do. We did not need to go to a local upgrade approval because we met maximum feasible compliance standards. When you look at whether or not you need a deed restriction, you need to look at DEP guidance. The guidance tells you that if you're going to put an alternative septic system in, then you need to put a deed notice, not a deed restriction. Typically, a sieve analysis requires a deed restriction, which limits the number of bedrooms based on the actual number that's in the facility. And that's not in Title V. That's in your guidance. And that's in the guidance that was established 15 or so years ago when they started allowing us to use the sieve analysis versus conventional perk tests.
So basically what we're talking about here, in my opinion, is really a moot point as far as this house is never going to be more than a 3-bedroom house. It's not possible. Whether it has a deed restriction or not, that there's no room to increase the design flow of this property. There's no way they could increase it and go to a 4-bedroom system, even if there was no deed restriction. The deed restriction is not really stopping anything because the practicality of actually installing a 4-bedroom system is stopping it.
Right.
I mean, that's what I gather from it. So it's really a moot point what we're discussing. I mean, does everyone kind of agree with that? I mean,
so it's impossible to install a 4-bedroom system due to the lot size, is what you're saying, right?
Right. Because so what's there is a 3-bedroom. That's the minimum size required. That's what's there for the house. So they have to replace that. In order for them to go to a 4-bedroom system, that means they'd have to install a 4-bedroom system and not be able to get any of these waivers, which means they can't do it. They need all these waivers to make it fit on the lot. They wouldn't be able to get a groundwater reduction. They wouldn't be able to get a setback from a property line. They wouldn't be able to get a setback from a foundation. They'd have to show on a plan that they could meet all those requirements with a 4-bedroom system in order to bump up to a 4-bedroom house. essentially. So there's no way they could possibly ever do that on this lot. Just the restrictions of the lot itself, that they could never do that. So the deed restriction is really not stopping anything. It's the lot size is really what's limiting this anyway. So the deed restriction is not really doing anything, I guess, is the way the lot restrictions are really what's stopping this from going anywhere than being a 3-bedroom. Right. So I guess really what we're looking at is just whether we're going to require them to put a deed restriction on the property or not. Like I said, my personal opinion is it's not doing anything. That deed restriction is not doing anything, and it is a full-size system. There is no reduction in SAS size. Yes?
No, there isn't.
No.
It's fully compliant, 330 gallon per day system. When I say fully compliant, it's not fully compliant with setbacks, but it's a 330 gallon per day system.
The square footage of the leaching area is completely compliant. The tank size is compliant. All the components are compliant. It's just the setbacks that they can't meet.
Correct.
And the groundwater separation 5 to 4, right? Or
correct.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, is this something? I think this is something we all need to look into a little more to see what direction we need to really go, or maybe we can have further discussion at a later date. But I mean, is this something that we can, in this one particular case, can we just make something that, will not set precedent one way or another for anything else, just to, to get this plan going so they can get the system installed and be on their way? Is that a possibility, Dennis or Teresa?
Kevin, didn't we approve this last month, and the question today is whether or not we'll remove the deed restriction?
Yes, we approved the plan. He's just here to have the deed restriction removed.
Okay. My only concern is just so we can maybe get a little more feedback on, whether we are supposed to have a deed restriction or not on a situation like this. I mean, like I said, I got mixed answers, so I'm a little confused as to if it is or not. And I'm just, if we were to make a motion to remove this from this property, I don't want that to turn into an issue with, others coming forward and saying, just in this one particular case, if we were to remove it, just because, like I said, removing it is not going to put this property at risk because they cannot increase it regardless. So it's that deed restriction is not doing anything. And I think to maybe, just keep everyone moving here, keep the representative and the applicant moving, and just so that way, after, we can have a little more time to research this.
Would you like another month just to, get more information on it?
Well, I'm just thinking so we can have more information on it. I'm thinking, if we were to, in this one particular case, if we were to say make a motion to lift or waive the deed restriction on this particular site for this particular property, not to set precedent, on something else. That's my only concern, because I would like to get a little more information on it. In this particular case, whether the deed restriction is there or not is not going to affect this property one way or another. So I don't really have a concern on this particular property with it being removed, but I just don't want someone else to
So
just to set precedent on the situation.
You're willing to accept the removal with caveat that it doesn't set precedent, and we'll look into it further, so we'll have better understanding the next time someone presents us with it. Right.
Just so we're not, tying things up and having to continue this and table it. Like I said, it's not going to make a difference with this property, whether that is there or not. As far as
if everyone's comfortable, I'll entertain a motion to remove the deed restriction off of 57 Milford.
Yeah, Dennis, I'll make a motion to remove the deed restriction from the previously approved septic application and plan for 57 Milford Street. And just that this won't set precedent on any deed restrictions moving forward. And this will allow us more time to, to research, whether whether it's required or not, in what situations it is and isn't. But in this particular case, it's not going to change anything with this property because the lot size, shape, it basically limits this to only a 3-bedroom system. They could never increase flow here. So that's my motion.
Okay, thank you. I'll second on that.
You second that?
Yes, I'll second that. And we'll go to roll call. Arlene.
Abstain?
And Kevin?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, through you to Mr. Perkins, just so that a little clarity. Typically, the engineers that design the plan, it's their responsibility to provide the boards with whatever regulations, restrictions that the board needs. Typically, if there's a sieve analysis, that has to be on there. Deed restriction is required. It's their responsibility to make sure. The board's more than welcome to do their research. I've done it. I've been practicing, like I said, for 30 years, so I'm very comfortable with it. But I think it behooved the board to put that emphasis back on engineers. That's where it should be, not someone in the office. And I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Diaz. Have a good evening.
Sure.
Any old unfinished business?
Was Gil going to give us a report, or was the COVID update his report?
Is there any questions? I mean, come on. The COVID update was just a COVID update. I just brought this up. Oh, we're not even on here. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, Teresa put you down for a curtain call. Okay, and no questions for Gil. I'm looking for.
I wondered how I was asking if the COVID was his whole report. That was my question. So I guess I want to know how inspections are going with the restaurants. And now today we have all these new guidelines. More things are going to be opening up. So I'm just wondering where we're at.
Gil?
Now they can hear you.
Oh, I thought okay, sorry about that. Oh, you can hear me now, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're on track now. Okay, the restaurant inspections are going pretty good. They're ahead of schedule. There's a few we haven't done because of the fact that they haven't been in operation. So once they go into operation, we'll inspect them. I'll do those inspections. I've taken on, a few from her because we've got a few re-inspections going on. I've got a couple issues with places that, we have to go back 2 or 3 times. So those I've pretty much taken on myself here. But as far as those go, they're ahead of schedule, and I think we're doing pretty good. And we have other issues, with different locations that, I'm going to take care of myself, re-inspections. But anything else is going pretty good. A lot of septic inspections. There's, like I said before, the real estate market's still hot. A lot of Title V upgrades and, things going on. Complaints as usual. So, we're pretty active. Everybody's busy. The office is busy and I'm busy. So I think we've got a good handle on everything. I think everything's going pretty smooth. So I don't see any real big issues going on right now. But, I think everything's going pretty well. The office operates very well. So. Any questions?
No.
No questions?
No questions for me.
If we're all set, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll
make a motion. I will second that motion.
And we'll go to roll call. Arlene?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
I'm a yes also. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Bye.
You as well.
Bye.